English girl, haven't we, here this afternoon somewhere? No, it's good to see them. Keeps the industry clean and up to the mark.
Going to the Golden Shears open event this afternoon, you've got over 70 shearers in that class. That's a huge field.
72 shearers in the open class this afternoon. That is a big field. There'll be some fantastic shearing. The heat will be really on. The hardest part for any competitor in any class is to get through the qualifying rounds.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck to those open shearers. Yeah. They're all here this afternoon. We're going to go crossing live now to the stage where the intermediate is just about to get underway. So, Alan Precious, congratulations on doing another fine job, and I'm sure you'll get somebody always pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, always. That's the challenge of the job.
What are rules made for?
Dead right.
Thank you, Alan.
No, thank you, Cora.
No,
well, John, these competitors, they call for the referee. Why would they be calling to the referee?
Oh, they think a sheep's had a tough night's sleep and got its feathers ruffled a little bit. Look, of course, you look at a nice one going down the porthole and you don't get to choose the one that comes in the pen, so sometimes it's easier to shear the devil you know than the devil you don't. But anyway, that's what they call. Referee has. I tried them to be tough and say no, but they're only human. You believe these judges are all human, even though they're all dressed the same. Okay, Brandon, let's have you out of there.
These South Islanders, they're always testing the limits. A bit like our South Island commentators.
Okay, we got the all clear. Shearer on the board. Green light. Timekeeper's right. Competitors, set, go. And they're in and off this time, Tuma, and the pace, you can see it. Just sense it this afternoon. We're lifting a notch.
Yeah, that's right. I see young Daniel Seed on stand number 4. Raced out with his sheep. That's the way, Daniel. You're going to need to get into it if you want to make it through to the final. We've got the big Jordan Hart on stand number 3 into the undermine. He works. Gordian Davies, the Welsh boy, on stand number 2. He's got the dragon tattoo on his back. Into the undermine he goes. But it's all John James up there on stand number 5 at the moment. He's been following the shows in the North Island, making all these finals. He loves shearing in the good old Aotearoa. We've got Trent Hughes on stand number 6. He's one of the twins. He's working his way down into the long blow. Big sweeping blows down around the shoulder, and he's going to be the first to step over on the long blow. And on stand number 1, we have Brandon Maguire. He's the one that asked if he could have a sheep thrown out because she looked at him funny, and the referee said, all right, son, this is your thing. You're not happy with that sheep, we'll get rid of it for you. But here we go, young Daniel Seed. He's the first to turn to the last side. He's like a coiled spring, this young guy. He's just full of jumping beans. And he is working his way down over the shoulder, cleaning up the wool under the leg. He'll lift the leg and start making his way down the last side, the whipping side. So here he goes, Daniel Seed. He's out in front. It's good to see. He's usually a mile behind at the moment, but he's way out in front. That's the way, Daniel. Keep it up, Johnny.
Yeah, they're working away. You've got that sheep out in a pretty smart sort of time, and where's the cord? And he turns it on and away down the belly on his second sheep. Jordan Hart has a quick look along the board. He has to, where's that Brandon Maguire? I'm a bit worried about him. Don't worry about the rest of the shearers. You just get on with your job as the other stands 5 and 6. Hustle into the pen and back out with the old flashing lights, and away they go. Oh, a little bit of free movement. These sheep are starting to warm up out there. The day itself is starting to warm up, so that'll make for easier shearing for these white spur sheep. Here we come. Maguire down the first off leg from down on the deep south. Yeah, great quality young fella too. He knows how to keep the scores low. Out with another one of our Welshmen, Gwendolyn Davies. Ooh, down the belly, blows it open for the judge to peer in and have a look at. 3, 4 shots down the belly, and he's down under that first off leg now, the undermine. Look at him working away straight up from the toes, up over the tail. He heads towards the big loin and gets it a couple of good shots straight up the backbone. Warman now off for the top knot with 2 strikes. He's right on it. He's keeping his blows to a minimum, but he's away off the pace at the moment as Jordan Hart in the middle of the field there. On stand number 3, comes across the shoulder, under and down and out to the flank. He's about to follow the Woodville lad. Young Daniel Seed whooping out that last leg on stand number 6 as well. There's Trent Hughes. He's kept in the hammer down on the far end there. He's right out on the limb. It's a bit like Shearing at the back end of the shed, but there's been some great shearers that have won from down on that stand. Hey, this is elimination round number 2. This is the semi-final. We'll be into the final later on in the program. Get round this one, boys. Get them done quickly with a minimum amount of second cuts on the board and the minimum amount of wool left on the sheep when it goes down to the judging pens out the back. In goes Brandon Maguire now. Hey, doing pretty well, the young fella from Winton. Just a little bit off the pace, but he's always got the quality to him.
He certainly has. He's a very, very good quality shearer, this young boy from Winton. We got Jordan Hart, the big boy from Blenheim, up the neck he goes. Daniel Seed around the head he works, and he is feeling good. John James down there on stand number 5. Little wee bit behind, you see him, he's taking off a really big belly. And that's a lot of problems that these young shearers from the Northern Hemisphere have when they come to New Zealand, because they don't have a lot of belly wool, they don't have a lot of wool around the heads. So it's a real big learning curve for these young guys to how to take off a good big belly, taking off the top knot, and it's all about taking the wool off where it's handy. And it's not very handy trying to take the wool off around the head on the long blow. So it's a bit of a learning curve for these guys. A lot of them do leave a lot of antennas or aerials on at the start when they get here, but they soon learn. They're very, very quick learners. But looking down there, stand number 4, Daniel Seed, right out to the toenail. He's going to roll the handpiece under the hamstring and he runs for another one. We see the points come up there on the top of the screen, and it's all fairly even at the moment. Daniel Seed, he's a little wee bit higher on the board, but because of his time points, that will cancel that out. Jordan Hart, the big boy, just steps in one big step, and he's in the pen. Brandon Maguire, stand number 1, lifts the leg, down to the flank he goes. We got Goodyan Davis, the Welsh boy, on stand number 2, looking around at the moment, taking all the wool off. That's the way, Goodyan. You've made the finals before. You know you can't leave any wool on there, because the judges out the back, they will really sting you. Daniel Seed, stand number 4, up the neck he runs. Brandon Maguire pulls out another little beauty. Goodyan Davies, John, he's changing the gear. He's not happy. We've got Trent Hughes down there, stand number 6, into the undermine. He works. The gear's going nicely. He's still got the same handpiece on. We've got John James, stand number 5, ladies and gentlemen, the Welsh boy. Looks like he's got arms as long as anything, can shear the sheep in the belly position. But into the undermine he works. You can see he's got the confidence going. The gear's going nicely. 2 big blows up the undermine.
It's good to see Heat 2 all lined up down the Morgan.
Yeah, Heat 2, Blake Hughes, Neil Bryant, Sean Gout, Emily Takapa, Cody Gregg and Connor Puha. Come on up, guys, up to the side of the stage here.
Yeah, we're just having a look at the Trust House Intermediate Semi-Final, Heat number 1. Those scores there above the shearer's stand. The time points are calculated at 1 point per 20 seconds. The board points, the number of second cuts to the wool fibre, that's on the stadium floor up there now, and then the pen points out the back. The final product judged on any bruising on the sheep or any wool left on. And of course, when the yellow figures come up at the end, that'll be the total, and the ranking will roll in through that. To qualify for this intermediate shear, you need to shear less than 305 in an 8-hour day. So these guys are starting to earn a little bit of money at the game. It's all about the grading of the shearer. We come through from the novice class for shearing up to 50, in the junior class shearing below 200, and then the intermediate below 300, and then the senior below 400. So roughly that's the name of the game as far as raising in the appropriate classes that the shearer is shearing in. when you get up to the Open, well, you're shearing over 400 and you're up with the big boys. So anybody can have a go at the Open, of course, but you'll find that you get left behind if you're only a junior shearer. So they shear in their class all the way through. Occasionally there will be a shearer that has not done the tally required to take the lift, but he has gone through on winning too many competitions in that class. He has earned too much money in the prize giving, so he needs to step up the grade. Okay, back here live shearing now. So we're coming off the top as Daniel Seed out the last leg. Sheep number 5, almost completed for him. 8 minutes and 20 seconds gone, and he hits the buzzer. Turns it off, has a look at the second cuts on the judges' counter there. Oh yeah, I did a 5.6 on the board. He's probably thinking that's too many, but he's got a 5.4 out the back, so that's not so bad. If he can keep it at that sort of score, he's going to be in the hunt of making the next round. Who's going to be next in line? Looks like it's Jordan Hart on Stanton number 3. Here, Brandon Maguire from Winton comes out the last leg, closely followed by Davies from Wales, but Maguire sneaks in a couple of shots ahead of him. Finishing touches on the last side on stand number 6 for Trent Hughes as well. He's got about 2 shots left. Over the top, the money side of the sheep for John James as Davies completes the task, the young Welshman on stand number 2. So we're getting through this one. It's going to take around about 10 or 11 minutes per heat. We have 3 heats of this to run, and then we're on with the open shear. Out the last leg with about 4 shots. Down and out. Has he done enough? He's keeping it pretty right. He's got a 3.6 on the board. That's not too bad. Getting up out the back a little bit. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for those intermediate semi-finalists, sponsored by Trust House. We'll move on now with heat number 2. Onto the board, please. Quickly, guys.
On stand 6, Connor Puha. On stand 5, Cody Gregg. Stand 4, Emily Takapa. Stand 3, Sean Gauk. Stand 2, Neil Bryant. Stand 1, Blake Hughes. And heat 3, coming up ready now, guys. Tom Brewer, Josh Harding, Richard Paulson, George Olaf, Ruka Braddock and Laura Bradley. In heat 1 of our open shearing, Ricky Alabaster, Shelford Wilcox, Cam Ferguson, Shane Ireland, Ringa Paiwai and Jimmy Samuels.
You'll notice the yellow scores coming up on the big screen above the shearers now. That is the final judging of all the sheep out the back. So it looks like you're going to need to be in the mid-30s or less, I suggest. Always better to perhaps shear in the later heats, but of course you don't pick what heat you shear in. You get allotted your pen.
I see we got Emily Takapa up there. She is the wool eater. I've never seen anything like her before, John. She was wool handling yesterday in the heats. She had a bit of wool left on her table and she had a fleece in her hands. So she used her mouth to get the wool off the table. Innovative young lady, this one.
Oh, well, it is edible. It just doesn't taste that good. I've seen sheep chew wool, yeah, you know, when they get a bit hungry in the shed. They pluck their mate's wool.
A bit lousy.
Okay, guys, out of the pens and gals. Ready to rock and roll. Referee's giving us the thumbs up. Okay, we have a green light. Thank you. Timekeepers are right. Competitors set, go. And they're into the pen. Oh, they almost jumped the gun there. That could be points off if you start that sort of caper. Hey, we don't want false starts. Down the valley for the first time here. Sheep 5 again, White Spur, Tudors. Young maiden ewes with all their lives in front of them. They've been well prepared for this competition. A little bit of fresh grass in the Wairarapa lately, Tuma, and they tell me some of the managers and owners are having to actually just trim the sheep up a little bit because the grass has been a bit soft.
Yes, that's right. And with there being a little bit more grass around, the sheep are in a little bit better condition. They're a little wee bit bigger. And they've also got a little bit more fight in them. And farmers call it a high vigour. We call it being a bit of an a-hole. But here we go, we got these young shearers. These are the intermediates. The young shearer on stand number 5. He turns to the last side. He is a young live-in man, Cody Greig. He's one of these shearers, he likes to get stuck in. He doesn't like to get up there and muck around. Known to be the speedster in the intermediates. Hasn't always paid off for him. He reckons that sometimes he's a little bit rough and rich. But I said to him, no, that's not a good attitude. And he cleaned his act up and he came back and he won Pahia Tour. So that's young Cody Greig on stand number 5. He's the first one in 1 minute 29 seconds. Oh, I think he's a long way in front of that Daniel Seed in the last heat. We've got Connor Puha. Connor on stand number 6. He's from Kimbolton. He's been winning a lot of the shows in the intermediate class this year. A very, very good young shearer. He's growing up a lot. He's used to do a lot of wool handling as well, but now that he's gotten older, he reckons wool handling's for the girls and he just does the shearing. And on stand number 4, we have Emily Takapa. We had a little bit of a yarn about her a bit earlier on, but she's a young Scottish lass, half Scottish, half Māori. She does a lot of work in the UK. I think she's heading off to do a bit of work in Norway shortly, but she's a little great competitor as well. Then we've got Sean Gauk on stand number 3. He's one of these guys with the long reach. You wouldn't want to get into a boxing match with him because you wouldn't be able to get close to him. His reach is that long. He could nearly shear the whole sheep from the belly position. But he's one of these young guys. If you see him on Facebook, he's always travelling around following the work. He's down the South Island, right up the north. He's everywhere. And we've got Neil Bryant from Levin on stand number 2. Neil doesn't do a lot of shearing. He drives tractors for a job, but I reckon he's a waste of a tractor driver. But that's him. That's young Neil on stand number 2. And on stand number 1, we have the other twin, Blake Hughes from Wairarapa. And he's coming down the last side, looking fairly comfortable. So these young shearers, they've got 5 competition sheep. They've watched the first heat. They know that they can't really afford to get in there and muck around. And that's why Blake Hughes, he heard that Cody Greig was the first one in for 2, and he is the first one in for 3, Johnny.
Yeah, he certainly jumped up his mojo here, and he's pumping it pretty quick. But nothing in it. It's only the wriggle of a sheep, and the position can change as Sean Gauk comes down the last leg now. Right out over the tail. Neil Bryant drags another one onto the board. Starting to lift the rating down on stand number 6 is Connor Puha. No, good quality young shearer. Well, there's nothing wrong with any of these young shearers up here. They've had that good run yesterday, and now we're into the semi-finals. You've got to leave it all up on the board. You can't have anything left in the toolbox after this one. Otherwise you'll miss out on the final. Down the off leg comes Neil Bryant, off with the top knot, just as quick as I speak. Blake Hughes goes around the back of the head. Round the back of the head for Cody Greig. In goes Emily Tikapa, the Scots lass. Very confident young lady, and she brings out another one of these strong white spur sheep and sits it down under the into the belly position, and 3-4 shots, and she's got the belly flicked out of the way. And into the long blow now on stand number 6, Connor Puha from Kimbolton. We talked about this young fellow earlier. I can remember him doing wool handling competitions way back when he was about 10. So he's been around, he's a bit of an old granddad at shearing and wool handling competitions now, but he's doing the shearing this side of it. He's got feeling the power, and he comes over the shoulder. He's quite a strong young player, shearer, plays a bit of rugby and what have you. and he's making short work of this stuff at the moment as he comes under the shoulder and down and out to the flank. Hughes goes in, sheep number 4 for him, closely followed by Neil Bryant there. Cody Gregg's a couple of shots back. Hey, they're starting to put the pressure on the Levin lad now. Over this last side, young Cody was a wood chopper back a few years ago. He's slimmed down a little bit and got into the shearing game, and he says, I want the change of steel and I'm going in for a fresh blade. Then for sheep number 4, just the finishing touches for Sean Garrick from Taupo. Sheep number 4 coming onto the board for him. New steel, last one to get sheep number on the 4 on the board will be Emily Tikapa across the shoulder on the last side. Hey, down and out to the flank. The judges, of course, are looking for second cuts to the wool fibre. That's about as big as your first finger. And they whack that off, and you'll work on an average over your number of sheep. So we've got 5 sheep to shear. So you can see some of those scores up there. They've got a one average over. So that's 5 second cuts so far over 5 sheep. That's a pretty good score for some of these young people. Turning on to the last side, Blake Hughes. He's got away from them all. Working away the Wairarapa lad. Beautiful shot. Port Waikato will be loving to sing his praises if he takes away the red ribbon later on in the program. But, hey, you got to get through to the next round, and he's doing a fine job of it here. He's going to be first in for number 5. Not too far away will be Neil Bryant from Levin, but it's going to be the young man Blake Hughes on the front stand here to me that is going to get that last sheep on the board first.
Yes, you did right, John. The sheep, she's giving him a few testing moments. And like our Welsh commentator man reckons, the only good place for that sheep is on the barbecue. But that's really opened up the door for Neil Bryant. He's the first one into the pen for sheep number 5. His pull cord is a bit stuck there, so the pen man had to get it off for him. But this Blake Hughes, he's having a very good shear as well. We've got Cody Gregg, runs in the pen. That's what you need to do. Run, Forrest, run. These sheep, they look a little wee bit woollier in the legs than the juniors had. But these guys are a little wee bit more experienced than the juniors. So handling these big woolly monsters shouldn't be any problem. We've got Emily Takapa down there, stand number 4, coming down over the shoulder. But all these other shearers, you could nearly throw a blanket over them. There's not a lot between them speed-wise. Up the neck goes Connor Puha. We've got Cody Gregg down there. Up the neck he works as well. Sean Galk from Taupo, he's into the undermine. But really the time stakes have been here on stands 1 and 2 by Blake Hughes and Neil Bryant.
Well, I don't know. Look at that 6 down on 6 Tumu. You've seen a little bit of a pickup in speed from Connor Puha, and he's into the long blow now. The young man from Kimbolton, Taupo's Galk around the back of the head. Moving towards that first shoulder. Emily's got a last one on the board. Cody Gregg turns for home as well. He's starting to wind up. Cody Gregg's coming across the shoulder. Neil Bryant over the shoulder now. Connor Puha over the shoulder. Oh, Blake Hughes has got one that's moving him. Sean Galk's in the long blow. So it's pretty tight here in heat number 2 of this intermediate semi-final, but it could be Neil Bryant. This going to sneak in with a couple of quick blows, a little bit of dust on the back of that sheepage. He goes for the buzzer button and shuts it down at about 8 and 50 odd. And then up the top now comes Emily Tikapa. Round the back of the head she goes. Who's going to... twins down there on stands 5 and 6, Cody Gregg and, of course, Connor Puha. And up the front, Blake Hughes. A little bit of trouble on these last couple of sheep. And then had trouble changing his handpiece. He got a little bit upset with himself, but he's settled down again and got one half a shot to go, and he's going to be letting that sheep down the porthole. He's had a good shear. He's only got a 2 on the board, so that's pretty sharp as well. Finishing touches for Sean Galk now, coming over that last tail. Oh, just sit still, darling. I'll get that little bit of a pantyhose off you. Down the chute she goes. Over the shoulder now, Emily Tikapa. A little bit back off the pace. She's trying to keep the quality right, and she's hanging in there at the moment. Doing all right. Hey, there've been some great female shearers up here before us in this competition so far here at the 2017 Golden Shears. And another round of applause for all these competitors, ladies and gentlemen, in the Trust House Intermediate Semi-Final Heat 2.
Righto, heat 3. On stand 6, Laura Bradley. On stand 5, Ruka Braddock. 4, George Olaf. 3, Richard Paulson. 2, Josh Harding. And stand 1, Tom Brewer. Heat 1 of the open shears. Well, I think we've got to change a sheep and then we'll crack straight into the open shearing. Heat 1, stand 1, Ricky Alabaster. 2, Shalford Wilcox. 3, Cam Ferguson. 4, Shane Ireland. 5, Ringa Paiwai. 6, Jimmy Samuels. Heat 2, Axel Reid, Ben Hodder, Brett Roberts, Nuki Gordon, Pairata Abraham, and Anthony Frew.
So, of course, the first heat is patiently waiting to see how these Heat 2 scored. We've got some 36s up there and 38s. Might be a bit high. Final judging comes out, of course, when the yellow figures have appeared on the board. In the pen, guys, if you're going on the pen, in the pen, and then out. One out, all out. I like that rule. We've got 2. Another young lady shearing in this heat, Laura Bradley. Referee's given us a thumbs up, have we? Got a green light. Stand number 6. Thank you, Paul. We're away. Everybody's happy. Timekeeper's right. Competitors, set, go. In they go this time round. What about just on 8 minutes or something that took the last lot of shearers? So let's see how these young competitors go. There goes the ranking. Brenda McGuire is at the top. Neil Bryant, Connor Puha, Blake Hughes, Sean Galk, Cody Gregg so far. These 6 hope to change that momentum. And they'll need to keep their scores low, and they're well aware of the situation at hand. They're experienced competitors now, and they're going to make every post a winning post in this round. The Australian Tom Brewer here on the front stand. Into the long blow. Good to see our counterparts from Australia over here supporting the Golden Shears for 2017. Josh Harding from Hunterville on stand number 2. Richard Paulson from Wairarapa on 3. George Olaf from England on stand number 4. Ruka Braddock from Ekatahuna on 5. And Laura Bradley from Woodville down on stand number 6. Though the pace is on, where is it lying here? It's in the front stand with the Australian. Crikey, that's unusual. Tom says, I want to get into this final and I want to take that red ribbon home. Out the last leg he comes, but Richard Paulson from Wairarapa there on stand number 3, he says, I can't let you have it all your own way. And he's in a minute 40 odd for that sheep. Oh, a little bit slower than the first heat, a little bit slower than the second. They'll need to wind the old electric wire up and let themselves go shortly, Tuma. They need to get that spring fully extended.
Yes, that's right, Johnny. These young shearers, they need to push it along, get in, get amongst it, get ugly. We got Richard Paulson on stand number 3 into the undermine. He goes. We got George Olaf from England, the young English boy. He's got a little beauty. We got the young Braddock there, Ruka Braddock on stand number 5. He runs in and gets another sheep, but at the moment it looks like the speed stakes are down there on stand number 6, Laura Bradley. If you have a look up on the big screen up above, you'll see these young shearers, their points are very, very low. And that's how it works with shearing. You do not want the higher points, the lower, the better. We got Tom Brewer, the young Aussie boy. He's dropping into the long blow. working his way nice and quietly. Doesn't look like he's trying to push it too hard, but he's just trying to keep the job consistent, keep the bottom tooth on the skin, and just roll along nicely. He turns to the last side, takes off the cheek ball, and he'll start clipping down over the shoulder. Let both the front legs go, hook the head up, working away just a couple of teeth at a time so he's not to leave any ridges or make any second cuts around the shoulders. A very, very easy place to make second cuts. So the best way to do it is to hook the sheep up, bring her up nice and high, and just use a couple of teeth. We got Josh Harding, the big boy from Hunneville, working his way out the leg. Tom Brewer, the Aussie boy, had to bring the head forward. She was kicking him a little bit, but we're on 3.5 minutes. So I think that second sheep was a little bit quicker. And these shearers are right on target at the moment. So keep it going, shearers. We got young Ruka Braddock. He turns to the last side. That sheep just giving him a little bit of a nudge. Come on, Ruka, you need to pick it up, mate. Fill up that comb. Bottom tooth on the skin. George Love, the English boy, runs in the pen. Run, Forrest, run. That's what you need to do. But at the moment, the speed stakes have changed. It's Josh Harding from Hunterville, Johnny.
Yeah, he's picked up the pace, a big, strong shearer. He's got a very easy style too, and he's quite relaxed. And Tom Brewer says, well, I'm going to stay with you because if you're going fast, I'm going to be hanging on your coattail. Up over the top comes Laura Bradley. Change of steel there for Ruka Braddock. He says, give me some fresh blade. Up over the tail now comes the Englishman. Hold off, steps forward up the neck, around the back of the head comes Paulson on stand number 3. Swooping to that off shoulder, the very difficult part of the sheep now. You need to use your elbow, you need to have your left leg hard in under that sheep's shoulder. And that little bit of a lollipop around as the old head goes, but he's got under control now and his hands are at the back of the ears, pulling it hard in against his body so he can whip over that last side and down and out to the flank. Oh, it's closed up here on stands 1 and 2. Laura Bradley's to the last side as well. Braddock got another one on the board. Fresh steel on, so he'll hope that he can do the business. These sheep are quite dense up there, so you don't need too much steel in your comb. Out the last leg and down the hole for Josh Harding. Look at him, just reaches into that pen. Got a long reach on him. Loved every minute of it and just got the sheep out very quietly and down the belly without making a mistake. And here comes a change of steel up on the front stand. You can see a little bit of white on the back of the comb. That's the grease. It's harsh and it's stuck to the back of the comb, but not enough heat in that sun out there at the moment to get the grease running. Down the belly goes Tom Brewer. Down the belly goes Richard Paulson. Change your handpiece for George Olaf. Onto the last side there for Ruka Braddock. Down the belly's Laura Bradley. She's right in about 3rd position at the moment. You know she'll be there when the whips are cracking. Hey, look at those good low scores up there on the board. That's the average number of second cuts over 5 sheep. So here they go. Josh Harding around the back of the head and to the off shoulder now. Sheep starting to drift a little bit on him. Maybe Tom Brewer can pick the pace up. Maybe Laura Bradley. Keep the acid on. Force the shearer into mistake because he'll start to panic. Out comes another one for Ruka Braddock. Up the neck comes George. Come on, the English is anywhere English in the crowd. That George is up there by himself. Hey, he's shearing well though. Look at him dropping into that off shoulder now. Long blow time. One more sheep in the pen, and we're going to be on the last of these semi-finalists of the intermediate here, sponsored by Trust House. Trust House, of course, they do a lot of good throughout the community. The Masterton-based company, where they look after housing for a lot of the town and throw all the money back into the area, and we thank them for supporting here at Golden Shears in this intermediate semi-final. One more sheep in the pen here on stands number 1 and 2. They're just stepping into the pen now, going in for their last. Righto, the pressure's on there. Oh, Laura Bradley, she's dropped the head out and she's down the hole with that one. There's only 3 blows between the first 3, Tuma. It's starting to tighten up. Even the Englishman's getting in on the act.
Yes, you did right. Even the Englishman, he's got a little beauty left for last and he's going to use it. Laura Bradley, she's got a nice sheep as well. We've got the 5 shearers. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6. All of them into the undermine, so not a lot on it. Josh Harding said, blow that, mate, I'm up the neck. Top knock comes off for the big boy from Hunneville. Round the head he works. Richard Paulson, Wairarapa on stand number 3. Into the undermine he works. I'm not sure if that's such a good sheep, but he needs to keep the quality right. We got George Olaf, stand number 4. Round the head he works as well. But it's the big boy, Josh Harding from Hunneville. He's just about to start the long blow. Laura Bradley down there swinging her blows around as the shoulder as she's about to start the long blow as well. But at the moment, it's all the Josh Harding. It's the Harding show. He turns to the last side, takes the cheek off, lifts the sheep up nice and high, starts coming down over the shoulder. Young Ruka Braddock from Ekitahuna, he's fresh up into the intermediate class. He's thinking, what the heck are these other fellas got? Am I sharing a different mob? These guys are miles in front. Into the undermine he works, but Josh Harding working his way out the last side, the whipping side as they call it. He's going to have his time taken. He needs to be under 36 to make it into that top 6. Hopefully he's done enough out the back. Give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen. That's Josh Harding, the big boy. Hopefully we'll see him a little bit later on in the final. Laura Bradley, she's second to finish. She's got an awesome point score. A very, very good quality share of this young Laura. George Olaf, the English boy. He lets his sheep go as well. John, these quality points, they are climbing a little bit.
Yeah, well, they're pretty low. The 32 is, let's say, on top, so he's going to expect another couple of points on that. So there'll be 1 or 2 sweating in that initial lineup of yellow figures. I think I sort of mentioned you need to probably be in the mid-30s to get through, and as you can see, we've got a 31.8 on there with the final sheep to be judged. So there goes the 32. So somebody's gone out of the other, out of the 6 before. So a good score there from Laura Bradley, 32.5.
Top qualifier, you think? I didn't see the first 8.
Yeah, there goes. Finishing touches, ladies and gentlemen, for young Ruka Braddock. Round of applause for those intermediate semi-finalists. Sponsored by Trust House. There is a change of judges and a change of sheep coming up now, so we'll just be bear with us for 2 or 3 minutes.
James Rookie, Kieran Devane, can you please come to the announcer's desk? And can we have any open shearers that haven't yet got their singlets come and take themselves off, please? We need all the open shearers to have claimed their singlets, please.
So congratulations, Laura Bradley. You're at the top of the heap for those intermediate finalists. Brandon Maguire, Tom Brewer, Neil Bryant, Connor Puha and Josh Harding.
Righto, we're ready to go with our first of the open heats. On stand 6, Jimmy Samuels. On stand 5, Ringa Paiwai. Stand 4, Shane Ireland. Stand 3, Cam Ferguson. 2, Shalford Wilcox. And 1, Ricky Alabaster. Heat 2, Axel Reid, Ben Hodder, Brett Roberts, Nuki Gordon, Pairata Abraham, Anthony Frew. Heat 3, Bailey Casey, Tyson Hemmer, Tui Penny, DJ Crawford, Wee Narongioni, and Hinare Nia Nia.